Hello and welcome back to CAD for Horticulture. Today I'm going to be talking about inserting raster images for use in landscape designs. So a couple things we need to do to get started. First, we need to have a project to work on. Some source material. The easy thing to do is go to Google. Let's start a new page here. And we'll go to Google Maps. I'm going to type in a property name. So let's use Front Range Community College. And over here we're going to click on Maps. And there we go. There's the campus at Front Range Community College. So let's zoom in as tight as we can go. Did not center exactly where I wanted, so let's find out where we are. Okay, there's the front of the building. And that picture was taken during construction, as you can see. Okay, and there we go. So this is one of the assignments that we've been working on in class. Measuring this area right here, we can start with this image. First thing you'll know that it's not a straight down shot. It's not a plan view shot. There is a way to improve that. When you're in this close, you can click on the 45 degrees, or actually unclick on the 45 degrees. You can see everything changes to more of a directly overhead. With Google Maps, there is no direct way to save this file onto your computer. So there's a neat little trick. If you look at your keyboard, there's actually a print screen that actually says PRNT capital SCR. So I'm pressing that button now, escape from, but that should have captured that image right there. Now we're going to go over and start a free program called GIMP. And this is a freeware version of Adobe Photoshop. It doesn't have all the same, it's a little bit limited, but it can get the job done. When you first start GIMP, usually it looks like this. So things are a little bit scattered and it doesn't fill up your screen. So you have a separate toolbox over here, and then the actual program window is a lot of times centered but very minimized. So we're going to maximize that screen and kind of dock the toolbox a little bit. Go to File. You actually go Create from Clipboard, and that automatically inserts our image. Next thing we want to do is crop. In GIMP, crop tool looks like this. It looks like a little scalpel. Next thing we want to do is crop. So the crop button actually looks like the scalpel. There you go, like this, and enter. There we have our source object. Now we want to save it. So we can go File, Save As, my desktop right there. We need to go down to this Select File Type. Let's drag this up a little bit. Find JPEG. That'll be the easiest thing to work with in Autocad. I want to call that FRCC SAT, or Satellite View. Quality, that sounds good. Alright, save. There we go. So now we can switch back to our Autocad. Inserting a raster image, and that's what that would be called. The difference, two options are vector images and raster images. Vector images are what Autocad puts together. Also, Adobe Illustrator works in vector images, which means the lines have value to themselves. So they have a starting point, an ending point, and data throughout. A raster image is basically just a photograph. So they have no inherent properties other than the visual aspect that you're seeing on the screen. So when we go to the Insert tab on the ribbon, we need to go to Attach. And once we get into Attach, we're going to point it to a desktop, and then we're going to find the FRCC stat image. So I'll show a little preview up here, and we can say open. Say OK. And we'll plop this in right about here. So the next thing we need to know is a distance. Now, I happen to know that this wall back here is 87.1 feet. So I'm going to start a polyline. And I'm going to go right about where this section is, and I'm going to go polar coordinate at 87.1 feet, 270, and enter. So now if I zoom out, that goes off kind of where my raster image is, so I need to use the scale command. Enter. Select my object, which is actually going to be the frame. When you do a raster image, it produces this line that's actually a frame that's selectable. There's no information within the raster image that is selectable, so you always have to click on the frame. We're also given a change in the ribbon up top, so we can slide the fader bar over to a little past half. That way you can see your line work a little bit better. So now it's asking for my base point. I'm going to turn my O-snaps on and click the base point of that line. Then I'm going to go down here and use the R for reference. That way I can define the length. So I'm going to go back and get my base point for a third time. I'm going to go out to the end. If you see right here, this wall looks like it actually ends right about there. Zoom out and stretch it all the way out to there. So it looks like we're pretty close. Looks like we're right on. So if I did a little polyline and I pulled it from there to there, you can see how that ends right at the end of that wall. So now technically this should be a scale drawing. I have one other dimension that I can check. Across the back end of this, I have 84 feet, 0.4. So polyline. From there, I'm going to go at 84.4 feet in the 0 direction. That gets us pretty close to this side. I do have a note that I have a 10-inch offset. So I need to offset both of these lines by 10 inches that I missed the first time. There seems to be a foundation or something that sticks out about 10 inches, making this exact point about 10 inches off. So I can use the offset command 10. I'm going to go in both directions. And I'm going to use my little trick of a fillet command. After fillet, the radius is 0, meaning it will make a 90-degree corner. So all I have to do is click these two lines, and that would give me my correct dimension now. So I'm going to erase my original line work. I'm going to use the move command and move this raster image. I'm going to click on the frame, turn O-snaps off, F3, and right about here is where I was selecting as the base point of my image. Now I'm going to turn O-snaps back on, F3, and move it to there. And so it looks like I might need to scale this just a little bit farther. I'm going to select the frame, the base point, R for reference. I'm going to pick the base point again, very redundant. Now I need to pick the point of the raster image that I'm using, and then my line work. Does that still agree down here? It sure looks like it can be close. I'm going to do another check. I'm going to do a distance command, DIST, from one side of the sidewalk, turn my ortho off to the other side of the sidewalk, and that's giving me a 15-foot wide sidewalk. How about this sidewalk from here? Turn ortho back on to there. So that's giving me about a 3'11", so a 4-foot sidewalk. And we know that sidewalks are usually to a foot mark. So now we have inserted a raster image and we have scaled that raster image. So now we can use this to trace out the rest of the drawing and have a fairly accurate view.